Hey everyone, my name's Caleb. I am a member of Pretty Pumpkins.
it it feels like all like a dream of some sort, you know? Um, feels like yesterday we didn't even know where our project was going, and now it's this huge thing. It's crazy. The Pretty Pumpkins are an organization that me and my colleagues came up with at the beginning of this last semester. Um, we are given the task of finding some sort of community problem or even identifying one if none popped out to us, and then creating a solution for it. And so my group and I, we decided that we really wanted to focus on kids, and so we went ahead and did Galliano Children's Hospital. We looked at different things we could help with the kids at in the hospital, and realized that the feeling of isolation and loneliness in the hospital was like a really big thing that doesn't really go talked about a lot. Um, and we wanted to do something about that. We wanted not just put a band-aid on the problem by coming and visiting the kids, but really giving them an outlet to, help them when maybe nobody can be there.
The sustainability goals that our group tried to hit were good health and well being, trying to provide a more social and less lonely atmosphere in the hospital, as well as quality education through informing people about the importance of art in combating not only, depression, but also loneliness inside the hospital.
I mean, we can sit here and talk about how we did 25 pumpkins in less than a week and delivered those to those kids in the hospital. We can talk about how we did almost 40 gift baskets for those kids during the winter season. And, all of that says a lot about what we did, but it doesn't say anything about why we did it. Why are we here? Why did we decide this project? Why did we decide Galliano? Why did we decide those kids? You know, and I can't give you the answer for that.
Initially, we weren't too set on what exactly we were going to do, but we knew we wanted to be with kids and we wanted it to be at a hospital. Now, I, for one, am great with kids. I've been a nanny for for quite some time, so I've kind of gotten used to helping out the little kiddos. And I've been hospitalized many times. I regretfully admit. And I, all my times there, I've noticed that you get pretty lonely. You do get pretty lonely when you're in the hospital. Like, of course, your family's going to, your immediate family's going to come straight for you. They're going to gunning, and your distant family is going to plan trips to come see you during visiting hours and everything. But the times when I specifically were hospitalized were random. They were very random and in very distant locations away from my family. So while I would sit there in the hospital bed, I would just watch some television or something and wait to be released. It was very it was pretty sad, and that's kind of what like really drew me to this project, I would say.
What convinced me to do this project is because I love working with kids and seeing how art can help kids in a hospital when they are going through a rough time, or it can just be hard when there are kids in a hospital during the holidays, and just being able to brighten their day.
I've always worked around kids, and I know that hospitals get left out of projects a lot, or they're just not the target of people in classes unless they're working specifically to become a nurse or a doctor or something like that. And I felt that this would be a great chance to tackle both of those and spread some happiness.
With like when we were generating ideas, we were like, oh, let's do an elementary or something, and then we were like decided to do a hospital, which I thought hit home for me because a bunch of my dad, he works as a nurse and he works with the elderly, and I thought it was like really nice that people wanted to volunteer to help them. While we did do children, still they're at a hospital and they're very lonely.
I mean, for me, I decided to do this because I wanted to help kids who were in my position when I was a kid. You know, I spent a lot of time in Miami Children's Hospital, and there's a lot of people that did similar things for me, and I wanted to get back to that. I wanted to really, you know, kind of go full circle in that sense. But, you know, I didn't expect to, you know, get as much done as we did in the time that we did with the budget that we had and everything like that. So it was just fantastic to look at where we had started and what we had ended up with on that scale. You know, I never in a million years would have thought that, you know, this is where we would have been.
I feel as though this experience was a great experience to be a part of. I loved the way that it was planned. The event definitely met my expectations, even surpassed it. I loved the planning that they took to make the kids feel happy, as well as how we got the pumpkins and just seeing the smiles on the kids' face.
The event itself it seemed pretty put together, and there were quite a few people like coming down and just hanging out with their children, and the little tabling events that they had separately going on, they were pretty cool. So yeah, in total, yeah, I'd say it met my expectations. Oh, and they even had a little ice cream truck, which I loved. I got a strawberry ice cream, and it was incredible.
Overall, I was really satisfied working with Golisanos. We got to participate in a fall festival that I loved it. It was priceless, seeing all of their expressions and all of the fun that they were having, and just the little activities that they got to do. I know while we were giving out pumpkins, my table was also doing tattoos. And watching them pick out which one they wanted, or even pick them out for their siblings back at home, was just really sweet. And it reminded me why I was doing this, and everything that we were working towards was worth it.
For connections, one of the foundational elements that guided my group was serving. We wanted all to actively serve the hospital and children who were in the hospital. We wanted to serve them in a way that showed them they're not alone in the hospital, and then people from outside, like from FGCU, cared about them. I believe we achieved this because there's a child who kept coming back to my table. He kept like talking to me and kept wanting to do the activity that I had. I had a little like duck sorting one where like you flip the ducks over and you match a number on it, like 5 and a 5, and there you get a little prize. And he kept coming back and doing everything. And then we provided the arts and crafts, like the pumpkins that we made, and then I believe they did tattoos, like little mini fake tattoos on the kid if they wanted to do one. Another foundational element that guided our group was giving. Like, we always try to give them something. Like, we gave them the painted pumpkins, the baskets. We gave them our time. We just wanted them to know they weren't alone.
Some improvements that we could make for this project would probably be just more of a hands-on experience. Working with a hospital can be a bit difficult, especially if the child is sick or if they're going through treatments and they can't really participate. So that's understandable. But I definitely would have liked to have more of a hands-on experience than just kind of in the background.
So the winter one, it was really hard to do with the time limit we were given, but we managed to do it because at first we had a really big idea, and then we were like, okay, this is not really in our budget or within the time we were given, so we had to chunk it down to like a little gift bag, and it was okay. Would we prefer to go bigger for them? Yes, but we didn't have the time to do everything we wanted to, but it still was nice to do.
My key takeaway from this is that as small as our actions seemed, as small as the pumpkin was, or as just kind of impersonal of the dropping off of these gift baskets was, it makes a really big difference. Even if we don't see it, I know that it makes a difference, and that's what matters to me, and that's what makes it important that we did this. If given the chance, I definitely would do something like this again. I really enjoyed it, and seeing everybody's reactions and just the positive feedback that we've gotten definitely made it worth it. I really enjoyed the fact that we made these things, and it was just really exciting.
In the end, I loved this experience. I loved actively using critical thinking to identify an issue and then using problem solving to try and come up with solutions for that issue. You know, using the skills that we were taught in this class to move from just a volunteer to an active citizen was a great experience, and one that I don't think that we would have been able to have without this class. It was great to see the joy on the kids' faces when we handed them these art projects and then handed them the ability to make their own. And I wouldn't have changed what we did for anything in the world.